Good morning, afternoon. Anyway, before I start, just a disclaimer. Don't ask me any questions related to the global supply chain, because I'm an engineer. I got nothing to do with it. All right. Anybody not heard about Port of Long Beach? Everybody knows about that. All right. So Port of Long Beach, we are the premier gateway for the Trans-Pacific trade. And we are also a trailblazer in the innovative goods movement, environmental stewardship, and safety and all that stuff. We are the second largest port in the United States. With partnering with Port of LA, together we call the San Pedro Bay Port, and we are the nation's largest, we're the number one port, we are also number one in North America. We are number 9 when you look at the world ranking. Our port encompasses about 3,200 acres. We have about 140 shipping lines. The goods that actually come through Port of Long Beach, it reaches all the U.S. congressional districts in the United States. We support more than 500,000 jobs in Southern California. We got 10 piers. We have 31 miles of waterfront. And also, 2021 was a record year. We moved almost 9.3 million containers. And every month, we are breaking our own record. So thanks to all that cargo surge. This is one of the recent projects that we completed. This is the Middle Harbor Long Beach Container Terminal Phase 3, and this is one of the greenest terminals in the world. We also have our latest, the new Gerald Desmond Bridge, which is actually called the International Gateway, the Long Beach International Gateway, I should say. All right, so what do we cater to? As you all know, that container cargo is one of the major ones for us. We also cater to the dry bulk. You can see the molten salt on the right side. We also cater to the liquid bulk, which pretty much includes all the petroleum products. We cater to the roll-on, roll-offs, some Teslas here. Also, we cater to the break bulk, which is actually the subject for today's discussion. So when I say break bulk, it's just more like the oversized cargo. All right, so just to set some stage here, I want to talk about another project. This is called the Pier B On-Dock Rail Support Facility. Anybody heard about that project? I know Allison worked on this project. So this is basically, it encompasses about 171 acres. The bottom line is we want to move more cargo on a rail, taking some of the truck trips from the freeway and, trying to build more longer trains, 10,000 feet long, 12,000 feet long trains. And as part of this project, so we are adding few tracks, and eventually it's going to connect to the Alameda Corridor and heading up to the downtown LA. As part of this project, there was one of the mitigation measures. So we had to close down one of the railroad crossings. And, shutting down a crossing, it was not a big deal. As a traffic engineer, I was approached for this task. They said, hey, we need to convert this 4-legged intersection, make it a T intersection. We're going to get rid of the railroad crossing. And I was like, yeah, it's an easy peasy job. I just have to shut it down, make some signal modification, do some striping changes, and we are done. So we were planning this, and at the same time, there was some kind of a deal going on between our terminal and the railroad operators to build longer trains. So part of the reason was they could not park the train for a longer time here, and that was causing some kind of an operational efficiency for the railroad folks, and also for the terminal operations. So when we were doing this, we started hearing voices. People were complaining, no, you can't close this. How do we get out of the port? So that's when this came into picture. Another disclaimer, we had no idea about how these things moved in terms of, even though we were the landlord ports, we knew this existed in terms of the oversized cargo, but we never got involved in this because the permit was being issued by the LA County Public Works, and this was very well orchestrated with the California Highway Patrol. So these things moved in the middle of the night, and obviously that was not even on our radar. If something happens, that's when we get the attention. So these things moved in the middle of the night, and 9th Street was one of their integral part to get out of Port of Long Beach. So here are some examples of those cargo. So on the right side, you see that's a piece of rock for a millionaire in Newport Beach. Want a piece to put it in his garden? And what is this used for, right? If you ask the question, what is so important about these oversized cargo? So this is the steel the steel beams, the girders that actually was used to construct our Gerald Desmond Bridge. Anybody recognize this? This is the SoFi Stadium. Go Rams. So the steel actually that was used for construction came through Port of Long Beach. So you can see this line here. This was the route that they used to take, by the way. And they used to make a right turn at the 9th Street, Pico off-ramp and 710 freeway. So by closing that, they had nowhere else to go. And let me show you this video. This is what it is about. So this is about like 200 feet long. By the way, this has been sped up like 600 times. If you sit this, it's going to take like 5 to 10 minutes just to watch the video. So you can just see the length of this cargo here. And it takes a lot of effort. So it's coordination with California Highway Patrol. And these guys go on the wrong side of the street. They, in the middle of the night. All right, so we thought, okay, what about the other routes? Do we have another option? We started looking at that. And apparently there's a railroad bridge, which, these loads are super tall. They can't go through under the bridge. So that was ruled out. And then we looked at another option. But the problem with that is there is not enough turning radius, so you really can't do anything. At the same time, our management had made the promise, we got to close this down, make it happen no matter what. So we were thinking, like, how do we do this? Like, how can we accomplish this thing? So during that process, we thought, okay, is there a way that we keep this open for a particular day, like based on an appointment-based system or something? So we created pretty much within the own division, like, there is a person who deals with these oversized cargo permit process. So we thought, let's keep it separate so that when these guys come in, we open up this roadway for those guys and help with the cargo operation. However, there's another set of oversized cargoes. So this is the truck that you see. These, they don't require any kind of California Highway Patrol escort. No law enforcement involvement here. They can pretty much go. They generally are followed by the pilot trucks in front and the back. And these, they move throughout the day. So we thought, let's catch with some of these low-hanging fruit and try to troubleshoot this. Let's move them out of the 9th Street. So as part of this, we had to do certain things. We got to work with Caltrans. Anybody from Caltrans? Encroachment permit. Yeah, takes forever, by the way. Traffic signal modification, we got to do that. Then we had to do some intersection improvements at some of those key locations just to make sure that we have enough turning radius for the previous trucks that I showed you. Not the super-sized trucks, but the previous ones, which are like 140 feet long, those trucks. And then finally, we thought, okay, let's construct a gate at that crossing. So in that way, when these guys come in, we open the gate just for 5 minutes, let the load pass through, and close the gate back with the help of our harbor security folks. All right, so just some pictures before and after improvements. This is what I did with the striping. This is the intersection of Anaheim Way and Farragut. This is how the before picture looks like. And that's the after. So we made some striping changes, so these guys started going using that route. Same thing with another location here. So this is some of the striping changes that we had to make. So these are some of the easier ones that we could capture. This is the before, and that's the after. So you could see those oversized trucks. And then the other task came into picture. We had to build a fence. And if you notice that, we got a spaghetti of utilities there. We don't even know what is going on. We have oil lines, gas lines, water lines, you name it, and some of them we don't even know what's there out there. And we had to put in some foundation. Obviously, we had to do some potholing and make sure we don't hit any of those utilities. And finally, we were successfully, with the help of our maintenance, Lou is here from Port of Long Beach, and his team, we were able to get the gates. And finally, we were able to put in a gate and close this intersection. So as of now, this is closed. And if you wonder how we are moving the cargo, so you can notice that the gates are open right now. The truck comes in or leaves. By the way, this is super fast. They don't drive this speed. And then after that, they close the gate. And if you notice that, there are no rails parked during that time. So we have a very well-established coordination system with our Pacific Harbor line. And in that way, they keep this open during this heavy, oversized or supersized cargo movement. All right, so this is not, we haven't done a complete, we don't have a complete solution for this. We still have a lot to do. Eventually, this is, we're going to see more of these trucks coming through the Port of Long Beach. And Port of Long Beach being, port of choice, we are business friendly, and we're really, in terms of, everybody loves us, the tenants loves us, so we still want to continue this further. So as part of that, we still have to improvise those two locations. So currently, we are in the process of, it's in the design right now. So we're trying to see if we can, widen this roadway and make sure we do all these improvements. And also, I want to point out another thing. When these loads go over a particular bridge, the respective agency, they require you to obtain what we call the load rating analysis, meaning that you bring in a load, you have to get a analysis done through a licensed structural engineer, submit to the agency, and then if you bring in another load, you want to do the same thing over and over. So that actually is not going to help the trucking community. So what we are trying to see is we are working with City of LA, if they can accept like a blanket load rating permit. In that way, we don't have to go back and forth on this. So this is something like out of being the business-friendly port, we want to do it for our trucking community. Again, we still have some constraints left here. We got to obtain the permits from City of Los Angeles. We still have to do some curb and gutter improvements, and we still have to widen the intersection. We still have to relocate the the street lights. We got to improve the sidewalks and the ramps. We got to relocate some catch basin and do some signal modifications. All right, so where do we go from here? So when this whole thing started, there were all these discussions. Will Port of Long Beach be able to accommodate these oversized trucks in the future? Will oversize these cargo, will they find another port? We got Port of LA, so they said, nah, we're not going to Port of LA. We might go to Wainimi or probably San Diego, or we completely move to Texas. We don't know. And we're also working with City of LA partners just to see if they can give us a blanket permit for us to get these load rating analysis done so that these guys can go anytime they want to go and there's no special permit required. So we're still in the process. There are other things. We're also working on some kind of a general plan amendment, so it's all coming down the line. To get the answers to these questions, in a few years, if you can call me back, I'll probably give you an update. With that, just remember, it's not just boxes at the port. Cargo do come in all shapes and sizes. Thank you.